Be somebody. Tired of sitting on the sidelines while others are making millions in the world of cryptocurrency? Well, wake up. It's time to stop gambling your life away at the crypto casino and make some massive, professional, skill-based gains. Welcome to the Cryptocurrency Investing Campus, where I, Professor Adam, transform you into an actual investing professional by equipping you with the most cutting-edge and advanced skills exclusive to the real world only. Trend probability modeling. Stay one step ahead of the game as we stack the odds high in our favor. Learn how to spot trends before they explode in both the up and down directions. Strategic Omega Modern Portfolio Theory. Modern Portfolio Theory is the bank's best kept secret for portfolio management. I've brought it into our world and made it 100 times better. This is one of the greatest portfolio management techniques ever created. Last but not least, full cycle valuation. Learn the art of valuing the entire crypto market from start to finish. Develop an eye for understanding where we are and cash in on rare value opportunities. Hear from my successful students who've transformed their lives using these very skills. They're no different to you, but they've changed their lives with my methods. The market is becoming more competitive by the day. Act now and build world-class investing systems in the most practical university on earth. So if you're ready to take control of your wealth by embracing the modern, the cutting edge, the world's class, then join the Crypto Investing Campus today. The future of your portfolio is in your hands. GM, everybody. Whoa. Sorry, testing. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Sorry, I just had a feedback loop in the thing. All right. Welcome, GM. If this is your first investing analysis ever, welcome. My name is Professor Adam, and welcome to the Crypto Investing Campus. In this video, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at all the information that I think is relevant on a daily basis to orientate ourselves for the bull market and for our portfolios and all the strategies and things that we develop. If you haven't completed the masterclass and you haven't done your post-graduation research to build your SDCA portfolio, your TPI systems and your RSPS systems, then you will unlikely get the full value out of these daily investing analysis videos that you could have. This is on you to get through all the lessons. So please make sure you get through those or else you will not get the full value out of this experience. But without further ado, let's get into the analysis, shall we? So I think that everybody's probably in an excellent mood today, seeing that price has been going up rapidly. Bitcoin went up a huge amount yesterday in a single day, 4.1% on ETH, and we had a 4.1% on BTC and a 5.1% on ETH. Things are just screaming up. Fantastic to see. I was a little bit conservative in my estimations. I thought that we would have some sort of reversion coming from around these levels, but it looks like those liquidations took care of us, which I have mapped out here on the BCC chart. The decent trader liquidations were all the way up to 53,600. So maybe we should just have a quick look at those first up without looking at anything else, because those were the main driver. Those are the main drivers for price, and it looks like it hasn't really updated correctly. It's probably moved too fast for it, so it is what it is, but that's fantastic. I'm very happy to see that. We have a lot of material to go through today. We have a cross-border capital letter. We have the lead-off morning note from 42 Macros, so let's just get into it, shall we? There's not really much to talk about with anything else. I haven't updated the TPI because honestly, I just completely forgot, because price is up. There's no real need to update the TPI. There's going to be absolutely no negative rate of change. There's going to be no incremental increases. It's already max long, so we can just move on from that. Actually, probably the most relevant point that you may be curious about would be my position on the ETH-BTC ratio. I've been telling you that I've been looking at this ratio. I've been thinking, is it increasing? Is it decreasing? Where are we? Is it worthwhile looking at yet? I would caution anybody against making a decision too quickly here. We still don't know whether the ETF inflows for Bitcoin are going to outweigh any potential supply constraint dynamics or ETF speculation dynamics coming through with Ethereum. As we progress on and on and on throughout the days, I'm seeing these ETF inflow numbers coming out, and they are fucking shockingly good. Like the most insane inflows that you could possibly imagine. I was going to leave this until the end, but I might as well just show you now. There's this fucking chart showing, look at the flows between Bitcoin and gold. It's almost as if people are intentionally selling gold to purchase Bitcoin, bro. Like, look at the fucking divergence. It literally started right there and it just went majorly in both directions. If this is true, then this is fucking hilarious and I love to see it. I love to see Bitcoin stealing market share from traditional assets. And you know why I love that? Is because Ethereum's probably going to do the same shit to bonds. And you know which market is bigger? Yeah, that's right. Bonds are way bigger than gold by fucking a long margin. So it is what it is. And this is fucking mental. So while there's actual spot demand coming through for Bitcoin, I'm not entirely sure that the speculation on the Ethereum ETF is going to outcompete that. So for the moment, balanced and just going to chill and let the ETH BTC ratio play out for as long as it needs to. There's a lot of move that this chart could potentially do. And if this chart was to go like this, all of our systems would very clearly detect that. It's just at the moment, it's not really sure what will happen. It may just creep sideways for another couple of months, and taking any major positions could be, or like frequently changing around positions could potentially chop the portfolio. So I'm just going to let it chill for the moment. Yet another day where I'm just going to let it relax. So we'll move on to that. Anyway, first things first, and the most interesting thing is the Capital Wars Global Liquidity Letter, obviously. Now, it's up only a tiny bit from the previous update. It's up just a tiny little bit, but you know what? It's still an increase. Any increase is a good increase, which means higher prices over the whatever the fucking following several weeks are or whatever. So, like I've mentioned previously, I'll mention it again. I think the fair value, liquidity-based fair value for Bitcoin at the moment is very high. It's very high. It's in the 60s for sure. So we're talking around here somewhere, in my opinion, is liquidity-based fair value. It, kind of surprising to remind ourselves that all-time highs are not that far away. It's only at 68,900, or basically 69,000, the meme number, that Bitcoin all-time high is. And the current liquidity valuation places us within arm's reach of that number, right? So it is going to here. It is going to that box, right? Because that is where the fair value of it is based upon liquidity. What additional liquidity updates we'll have leading through the next couple of weeks, obviously we don't know. But I would be inclined to say that we would maybe increase even faster into that before we have a bit of a turnaround with the US, because China still has a little bit of printing to go. We are literally in the Chinese New Year now, as of like a couple of days ago. So they're going to be printing. All that money is going to find its way into cryptocurrencies. But I'll stop rambling. Let's go through the letter. Global liquidity has hit a new record high of 171.7. The averages were those. Yeah, the expansion to date has been slower than in previous cycles, and liquidity levels are still just 8% above that 2022 low. So there is potential for it to surprise to the upside before that air gap with the Fed liquidity comes into play. However, we'll orientate ourselves around that as it comes. But there is potential for upside surprises. You could see a triple top in Bitcoin. You could see a triple top. It could easily shoot to that value, even above it slightly, like you had here, right? Where you had Bitcoin all-time high, and then you had whatever you could call that, a fucking deviation above it or whatever, before coming back down again. You may have a third example of that here, where it goes to 70, 71, 72, and then fucking nukes through the halving because you have the Fed liquidity and everybody bought into the halving because now, suddenly it's all very interesting and the halving is the thing that drives Bitcoin, which is a fucking lie. But anyway, whatever. The chart below plots the 3-month annualized growth rate. Global liquidity is expanding at a strong, steady 13% 3-month annualized clip. A virtuous cycle of rising central bank liquidity and improving collateral values are behind the latest increase. As you can see here, beautiful high resolution chart. Thank you very much, Michael. Still very high, and it is creeping sideways from that measurement. So good to see. And that rate of change, as you can see historically, does have the potential to go slightly higher if we were to have some sort of a surprise to the upside, which is possible, but we could also have some sort of a reversion as well coming from the Fed air gap. I don't know what that's going to be. We're basically predicting the predictors at this point, and I'm not sure what's going to happen over here. All I know is that from what Bitcoin's current price is, which is pricing in, I think Bitcoin's price is pricing in up to, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to about here. So there's still quite a way to go. That's probably an important point that you all should focus on when I say that, because Darius Dale says that a lot. It's not really a good idea to try and predict the predictors. You can do it a little bit, but it's a very speculative endeavor. It is really within our best interest to just look at this shit and go, okay, well, where's crypto going? With a 5-week lead. Bond market volatility and by extension collateral values have settled again following the recent wobble prompted by Fed Chair Powell's hawkish comments on interest rates measured by the MOVE index. Volatility has averaged 108, still relatively high. Yep. World Shadow Monetary Base, cornerstone of global liquidity. Latest data record SMB expanding at 15%, which is good. I think that came down and came back up again. As you can see, 15% is about here on that chart. In nominal terms, it has jumped to 92.5 trillion, has been the case for some time. The big two, US Fed and the People's Bank of China, are leading the expansion. As we have noted in recent weeks, PBSC often boosts liquidity around the time of Lunar New Year. This pattern has repeated this year. Fed liquidity has been on a rising trend for some time, so this week's flip is either more of the same or a response to the New York Central Bank's difficulties, or both. Interesting. Yes, now you have the nominal levels versus the global stock market, which is not really super interesting to us. The chart below shows the investor risk exposure. I'm not actually going to go through that because I don't think that really concerns us either. But anyway, so you know what it is. Already posted that in daily investing analysis. So let's go on to the lead-off warning note, and then we will move through the rest of the stuff here. So I haven't read through this yet, so you and I will be going through it together. Eurozone narrowly avoided a minor technical recession with a GDP of fucking zero, a quarter over quarter. Jesus Christ. Yeah, nothing interesting there. Bank of England would continue to experience most arduous. Yeah, whatever, cool. Still weather model neutral for Bitcoin, which I disagree with strongly. And I also disagree with any of this bullshit. I think it's a spurious correlation. Doesn't really mean anything. No, not much point looking at the VAMs because we are in a fundamentally driven market. Unfortunate to see Goldilocks coming down like so. I am not sure if that's going to cause any issues for us. As long as this is positive, the crypto market can only go in one direction, really, and that's up. Not to say we can't have a fucking consolidation, of course. No changes to policy. Yeah, cool. Taylor Oil spread suggests the Bank of England and the Bank of Japan have a lot more work to do on the inflation fighting front. So they're going to be a drag on global liquidity for a while yet, which would, I suppose, be a nice point to reinforce my warning to you all that you can't just expect it to go straight to all-time highs from here. Now, I know that there's a fucking meme going around in the investing master channels that um, that every time I do this and I tell you not to expect this, it actually happens. But genuinely, like, if you think that this is going to continue on in a straight line like this for until it reaches the cycle peak for Bitcoin for like $200,000 or whatever, then you're pretty heavily diluted. If the ECB and the Bank of Japan still have issues with fighting inflation, and the Fed and People's Bank of China have an air gap of some sort, there's going to be some sort of an extended cycle where we have then an entire period where we need to go through of growth fears and, oh, is recession back again? And there's going to be economic problems, and then they'll have to pump again. But that will be like maybe mid to late 2024. So it could be several months of down only after the halving until you get that major resurgence again. And it'll be a fucking pattern of a bull market like you've never seen before. And everyone will be expecting a carbon copy of this and the previous 2017 bull markets over and over and over again, because everybody's expectations are always exactly the fucking same, and nobody can think outside the box, and they don't understand that the market doesn't move in patterns, and that patterns are something that you came up with from your imagination, which is the reason why this market has pumped so much and nobody expected it, because they thought that it would go like this in a nice even wave and that everything would behave like they thought it would happen exactly the same way, like over here as well, and that it would come down nicely and it would just keep going like this all the way up into infinity. Likewise, when it comes to zooming out and looking at a macro level, you're not going to have the same type of bull market behavior that you had in previous markets. You may, instead of having a parabolic bull market like this, now the market its market cap is so large and it takes so much money to move it, and it's so connected to monetary policy, and there's going to be so many participants that you may have a more lumpy bull market than this, and you have to go through several phases within the overall liquidity upcycle, and that it looks nothing like this again. Like the 2017 bull market where you had these little tiny dips. Now, instead of little dips, you have massive waves and you have huge crashes in between them, but it still goes up like a million X. So never set a fucking frame in your mind of what you think it has to look like moving forwards. The systems will tell you exactly what to expect, and the data and the research you do should give you your heading, which is one of the reasons why if you set and forget the portfolio forever, you will probably wake up one day and be like, oh, I thought it was meant to go up in a straight line and now I'm confused and I'm going to panic sell. Fuckers. All right. Your exchanges are looking okay, I suppose, except for Deribit and OKX are looking a little bit suspicious. Good. We're approaching this phase within a similar phase to that in this cycle. So by the time it goes up and it completes all these liquidations, where are we? By the time we go up and we finish this phase of liquidations to here, and also fully price in the the liquidity fair value, which is somewhere probably between 60,000 and 62,000, somewhere within here. This metric here is probably going to be starting to show some signs of heavy heat. So I will probably bust out the full cycle valuation spreadsheet and start updating it a little more frequently. Inflows, beautiful to see. Fantastic. What is this? 12,000, 12K. Oof. Ooh, 12.8 on what was that? A Tuesday. Huge inflows. I love to see it. AVIV ratio, still a very long way away from warning levels. So is that one. So is that one. This one's still triggering, but I believe it's more representative of the beginning of the bull market, so I'm not concerned. That one's fine, still a way off triggering a warning signal, so is that one. And I don't really care about that one. None of these are really going to be relevant, and I don't expect those to come up meaningfully. We're still such a long way away from triggering an overbought warning on any of these. Okay, Crypto Quant dashboard. What are we looking at? Not concerned about any of the full cycle indicators, to be honest with you. Profit and loss, as always, one of my favorites, may be worth keeping an eye on. However, it's not super high yet. You're going to see this go up a lot. Like liquidity driven, it's going to end up reaching like probably 0.7 or higher. It will go up into this range. Not in dollars, I'm talking in profit percent. Inter-exchange flow pulse. Let's see how it's been going. Last run 21 hours ago, so it's probably not updated. That gap will be closing very fast, I imagine. I don't know right now because it hasn't updated, of course. What else do we have? SOPR is creeping up, but it's not significantly high, really, compared to any of these previous levels that we've been at, like here and here. And especially not turbo bull market. We're still quite low. New money. Hitting 10. Last run 3 hours ago. Cool. Let's have a closer look. Come on. Right. So, new money is now more consistent with what would be a reasonable warning. These are all the previous levels that it's hit. Warning, warning. 10. So it's at a good position where we would be like, okay, well, what's happening now? As you would have remembered in the previous videos, I said that really when you get a divergence away from new money and short-term holder realized profit and loss, that's when you need to start being very concerned. It's still too early for that yet. The two of them are kind of coming together, which means that you would maybe expect, I'm just talking about within the context of this one indicator, up, reset, up. New money would be declining new money would be declining like so, and your short-term realized profit and loss ratio would be increasing with price. That would give you that divergence that you're looking for to say, hey, look, this may be the local top. Maybe. If you wanted to do some discretionary on-chain analysis. Nothing new there or there. Supply and profit is approaching the warning zone or the zone of DCAing out. Yep, good to see. Everything is as expected. All the Capriol models should be in expansion, which they are. No full cycle signals there. Google Trends is starting to creep up a tiny little bit. Of course, now the price is going up. People are becoming interested. Of course they are. However, it's still nowhere near last cycle. But remember also, for all of you people watching this time series is not normalized. So this is a non-stationary time series. I know that you think that it's stationary, but if you go 2004 to present, you can see how non-stationary it is. Look, like there was a bull market back here, right? And it didn't go all the way up to 100. So don't psy up yourself. Also, an interesting note here that I just realized, look at how much more peak interest there was in 2017 at the peak of that bull market than there was in the 2021 bull market. That's fucking weird. That is really, really weird. I think that that is really weird. That might verify my theory that the more people who are attracted to Bitcoin at each cycle high, the more retail investors that are convinced to purchase it at all-time highs, the less people show up, the less uninformed people show up at each subsequent bull market because they've only ever experienced losses when touching this asset. So it will become a more institutionalized asset over time. They think about it, right? You've got people who are only buying trash here and they all lost their money to smart people. That's the only thing that they've ever known. Nobody was interested here or here or here or here or here or here. Nobody gave a fuck in the retail space, in the global space. No, none of the people out there in the world cared here or here or here. Nobody even cares now. Right? They only care at bull market peaks. That's when they dump their life savings in, and that's when they only experience losses. Like from that point moving forwards, they only experience losses. So their only experience with cryptocurrencies is a negative one. So why would they show up in the subsequent bull market? They see people buying Lambos and shit, and the first thing that enters their mind would be, well, obviously they're a scammer. Anyway, that's the theory for why I think that is the way that it is, which is sad, really, because Bitcoin was designed to save people. It wasn't designed to fuck them over. It's just that people really get the price that they deserve with cryptocurrencies. And you know, it sounds cruel, but if this is your first investing analysis, and this is the first time that you've arrived in this server, and you've seen me for the first time, you're early compared to the worst of the retards, but you're still fucking late. Like, what were you doing a year ago? It wasn't the idea in your mind at all to be like, oh, well, what happened with cryptocurrency? Why did it do what it did? How did people make money out of it? You were probably watching Netflix. Fuckers. Honestly, whatever. Good to see that ETH sentiment is so low and the Bitcoin's coming down strongly. I love to see this, especially while it's pumping. Very happy to see that. I don't give a fuck about that one. And that one's broken. What do we have at the weekly? Yep, as to be expected, degen's chasing. Cool. I don't see much shit accumulating around current price for ETH. Solana a little bit. Maybe these, yeah, the only ones I really want to look at are these long-term maps. Bitcoin looking good. What is that saying? Yeah, okay. That's a lot of liquidation levels below ETH. Right. What do we got here? Speculation index still nice and low, which means there's plenty of potential for alts to outperform at a later date. Breadth is going like fucking crazy. Yeah, wow. We're so back. If your whole portfolio isn't in massive profit right now, you've probably been doing something very, very wrong. Beautiful to see. I love it. I love to see a little bit of breadth coming back as well. And we're back to this tweet again. So ultimately, let's have a look at the charts and I'll just give you my finishing thoughts on where we are and what's going to happen. So I've mentioned that I believe liquidity-based fair value to be not at all-time highs yet, but somewhere within here, right, within the 60s. Remember, the lead of global liquidity is 5 weeks, between 3 to 5 weeks. So you have to be a little bit patient there. I'm not entirely sure that we can get beyond all-time highs with the liquidity that we have. However, as each week progressively moves forwards, we get another indication of where liquidity is going, and that will incrementally inform our views. Predicting the predictors is a fool's errand, likely, so I will try and resist the urge to do that until I have some very clear information as to what's going on in the market. I would be biased to see these liquidations get taken out from the Decent Trader liquidation maps. I believe that we will likely go to 54 before reverting if we're in this current regime right now. 54 before reverting, and you may see this. Just a guess. Ethereum, looking fantastic. I love to see it. I am keeping an eye on the ETH BTC ratio. I have not abandoned it. I am keeping a very close eye on that. Solana looking beautiful. Solana looking amazing. This is going to get sent. It's going to get sent, my friends. For anybody wondering why I don't have Solana, the actual token, in my SDCA portfolio, it's because within my fully doxed portfolio, I have plenty of Solana exposure. Just it's not directly related to the Sol token. So don't fucking at me and be like, Adam, why don't you hold Solana? I've got plenty of exposure to Solana, so don't worry about me. Worry about yourself. As you would, oh, you don't see that too often. So fucking the Sol ETH ratio declining slightly, but still, it's, I don't know. You may see that kind of creep for a little bit if Ethereum does indeed outperform. I think that would be reasonable, because if you zoom out and you look at Solana, what has it done previously? It's gone through consolidation periods after outperforming strongly. So would it not be reasonable for you to have some sort of a rotation to Ethereum for a little bit? There's 1, 2. I mean, I'm not sure if the top counts, but a little bit of rotation before sending it to Valhalla for Sol, I think would make sense. How's my Bitcoin doing? Holy shit, another up there. Good to see. This is a meme coin. Don't go out and buy it just because I put it on this fucking chart. I don't touch this shit, all right? I do touch some meme coins, but not this one. Okay. That's pretty much all I need to talk about, I think. Dogecoin is coming up, which is beautiful to see. I love to see that. Your fucking meme theme maybe represented by that. Good to see. Whoops. All right. Let's jump into the chat channels. And you guys can ask me some questions, and hopefully I will not lose my fucking mind. Let's see how we go. Right. GM. Yeah, good shit. GM Prof, seems like BlackRock increased their holdings by many millions daily. It's affecting the price positively. Is this irrational thinking? Yes, but you have to ask, why are they increasing their holdings? Because BlackRock is just a fucking custodian of it. BlackRock and their funds just do what other people ask them to do. I give BlackRock my money and say, buy the fucking Bitcoin on my behalf. And then they go out and they buy the Bitcoin, right? So BlackRock isn't some fucking independent entity, although sometimes we try and meme it that way, but they're just doing what other people are doing. So the greater question is, why is BlackRock buying all of these holdings? Well, it's because other people want to buy Bitcoin. Why do people anywhere want to buy Bitcoin? What possible use would Bitcoin have if we weren't in a fiat money based hyperinflationary fucking regime? There wouldn't be any use for it. I hate to fucking break it to you, but there would be no use for it. You would own something else. You would probably just hold dollars, because dollars would be more scarce. But dollars are not scarce as long as you're living in a global system where you have the majority of the participants, especially the major ones, operating as fiat monetary based regimes. You will need a hard asset of sorts to defend against your lack of purchasing power, effectively. So it's the flood of dollars that people are trying to escape. Imagine Bitcoin as your life raft and your life vest. The flood analogy is a great analogy, in my personal opinion, because in my mind, that's how it feels. I'm fucking afraid of losing my money to inflation. I'm afraid that these central banks will just open up the printing presses and make all of the wealth that I ever accumulated worth nothing. you should feel this fear too, because it's real. This isn't a fucking fairy tale. This isn't some fantasy. This is the system that you're in. They will turn on the printers and destroy all of the effort that you ever put in and make your life miserable unless you find a way of escaping. Bitcoin is the escape. Bitcoin is the life raft. So that is the reason why people are buying it. Liquidity. Liquidity is where the source of all of this fiat money comes from. And now it enters the financial economy. So you need to understand this. Yeah, Painkiller was good. Nice, fantastic, good stuff. Thank you. When Finance Masterclass, bro. What do you want to know? Ask me a fucking question. What do you need to know, man? If you Google time value of money and you do some basic time value of money calculations, then you get 99% of the value of finance. Time value of money in finance is basically the most important thing. We're still doing fragrance reviews. No. Yes. Don't know what that is. Daily car hunt question. 2-door or 4-door? You asked me this yesterday. I'm not going to tell you. You'll find out. You'll find out in about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. Prof, news from Bloomberg. Not sure if you've already aware or not. June is a good chance for. I don't care. The interest rate cuts are none of our concern. It's a distraction. Yeah. The Ethereum ETF date is of our concern for sure. I do understand that the Ethereum ETF is likely to come. Where was it? So the beginning of Northern Hemisphere summer. So I have that here and I have it as a question mark. Don't know what that is there for. But yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that. So we do have quite a lot of time until then. Well, I mean, I suppose it's relative. That was about 3 months. 3 months will happen faster than you expect. A higher Sharpe ratio would be more tangent to the efficient frontier, or is it more along the capital asset line? I'm retarded. No. The higher Sharpe ratio is more tangent to the efficient frontier. The higher Sharpe ratio is closer to the efficient frontier. I wouldn't say it's more tangent. The highest Sharpe ratio is the thing that's tangent to the efficient frontier. Creative Ventus is overrated. You're probably only saying that because you can't afford it. It's a very, very good fragrance. Peter Schiff must really hate Bitcoin ETF. Oh yeah. Stutter. Try not to fucking stutter too much. We have higher prices and IA live views are still very low. Yeah, the IA live views, this should be reading, if it was fairly valued, here I am, valuation doing our views, this would be about 1,600, maybe 1,500. So it's still quite low. I'm surprised actually that it's this high considering the Google Trends information is what it is. We're only at the beginning. The NPCs will come through. Yeah, you can't even imagine yet how bad it's going to get. Club de Nuit. Yeah, I don't like the top note on it. It smells like fucking blueberry petrol or something. GM fuck Quebec. Got a decent bonus from a Matrix job. Current signals tell me to hold and enjoy the pump, but I'm thinking to move the bonus into BTC so my bonus can make money. Any comments on my decision? Bro, it's got nothing to do with me and my comments. You put in what you are willing to risk. Do you or do you not understand the activity that you're engaging in? If you do, then you can effectively make these decisions. If you can't make that decision and you don't know what to do, then it's an indication that you need to do more lessons and you need to spend more time developing your system so you can get an understanding of the asset class. Don't fucking ask me about how much of your money you should put in. I don't know anything about you. Homies, I will buy BTC and yes. Gee. Fuck no, not a chance. Fuck that shit. You want to attract gay men? Then wear this shit. No shit, man. I love Paco Rabanne. Like, some of their fragrances are a G as fuck. Like, even 1 million, regular 1 million, is still, in my personal opinion, is a fucking cool scent. it blows people's minds, especially like younger girls that have never smelt 1 million before. They fucking love it. But as soon as they realize it's a fuckboy scent, then it's done. But 1 million parfum, trash, absolute trash. Do not wear this shit. Delivering future to yes, it's gay as fuck. Yeah. BD surprised in the amount of people in Adam streams of a correlation of 1. Yeah. When I'm not studying my ass off here, I'm selling and shipping all my shit from the previous consumerist lifestyle to fill my bags. G shit. Good. Nice. Hey, Professor Adam, just wanted to thank you for providing insane knowledge. I recently put some money into crypto, only $60, and put in $20 more today. On that tiny investment of $80, I've already made $15. On my next project payment, I'm going to invest more. Can't wait to learn and multiply my money. If this is a significant amount of money to you, then by all means, welcome. However, I would warn you that you are likely wasting your time and that you would be making thousands of dollars if you would just get yourself some clients from freelancing or copywriting or whatever. But, you know, if you want to learn investing, then you're very much welcome, I suppose. GM Prof, is the ice in your veins so cold that you haven't checked your portfolio despite the pump? Well, what do you think? What possible reason would I have to check my portfolio? The fuck possible I've made... How many of you in the fucking watching this right now have checked your portfolio? I bet it's a good 80 to 90% of you have checked your portfolio in the last week, haven't you? I don't know how much fucking money I've got. I don't know what my net worth is. It's probably a fucking lot. My net worth has probably increased by, I don't know, a couple of $100,000 in the last week. You think I'd give a fuck? The number doesn't mean anything. You looking at the number doesn't cause it to go up or down. You just get what you're given, right? And you will either have money or you won't have money as a result of the systems and the rules that you deployed. Give a fuck about the system and give a fuck about the criteria. Be horny when you look at your system and you see it or every indicator in the green and you like see the fucking liquidity chart from cross-border capital go up. Be horny for gains when you see that shit. Allow the dopamine to hit your brain when you see some data that means something. The number in your portfolio means nothing. It's fucking distraction, and it's a leading indicator of failure. Never forget the Pavlov's dog's analogy. Every single time you check that number and you're rewarded for your inaction, you are trained into being a cuck to the market. So that by the time the all-time highs come, you're like, oh, well, every single other time I did nothing and the number went up and I felt good about myself, my brain was given a little treat for sitting there and being a retard. Train your brain to be getting a little treat every time you look at that fucking system and your TPI and the ratios are nice and that you feel it's well balanced and that you've been a G and been running your shit like a fucking professional. That's what your brain should be rewarded for. Fuck the portfolio. I got no idea how much money I've made in the last week. Wouldn't have a fucking clue. You shouldn't either. Good shit, man. That's fucking badass. I love that. No, I mean I could, but I mean Australia, it's very difficult to own a gun. This theory is pretty sound. The principle of buying, using, and selling the rumor, I think you're spot on, especially the retail. Yeah. Prof, what would you recommend as the best fragrance for the following occasions? General all-rounder day setting. I believe Mont Blanc Legend Spirit is a good one. Mont Blanc Legend Spirit is a great all-rounder for day. Office business setting. I've got one for that. It's YSL. YSL. It's that one that's in the square bottle, but it's the eau de toilette. So it's the light one because it's got a bit of incense in the top note. So it's very light and neutral. Date night, you would want to use the one by Dolce & Gabbana. In my opinion, the one is good. Sometimes I use L'Homme by Gorillion. It's the one that smells like cherries and liquor. A gym, I don't think you can go past Nautica Voyage. Nautica Voyage is really the only one you should be wearing to the gym. I think that any other cologne that you wear to the gym is probably like you're basically saying, oh, I'm a faggot. Like, you look at me. If you wear Nautica Voyage to the gym, everyone's going to be like, that's delightful. And they won't be offended. Retards be out there wearing their date night fragrance to the gym. Honestly, it drives me insane. Isn't there an Adam's rant where somebody puts in... Prof, do you have any crypto podcast channels that you listen to? No! And this is a... Holy fuck, man. I could just go on about this shit. Okay, so there are podcasts, man. There is only one set of fucking rants that you need to listen to. And that's, if you're going to listen to a podcast, listen to Michael Saylor's Economic Masterclass speech. It's like a 2-hour long YouTube video. And it's basically him just ranting non-stop for 2 hours about how the economy works and how Bitcoin complements the world and economy and the financial economy and shit. Podcasts are just retards sitting there talking about bullshit. Yes, I did a podcast. The reason why I did that one was for you guys. I did it for you so that you could get a better insight into who I am as a person. It wasn't for me to self-promote. I don't want an audience. I've got no products to sell. You can search me up anywhere on the internet. There's no fucking sales. There's no bullshit. Even here in the real world, there's no upsells. Naval put on his Twitter the other day, people who are good investors don't sell courses. I don't know if you've noticed, but there are no upsells in here. You don't give your money to me. You give your money to Tate. Yes, I have benefits from being here, obviously. Business benefits. But I don't do podcasts because I'm not a salesperson. I don't have anything to sell. And you shouldn't be listening to retards on the internet who are trying to sell you things either. The only thing that people are going to do if you look at podcasts is you're going to be psyoped into buying their fucking shitty bags, and you're not going to think for yourself. Think for yourself, spend more time doing the lessons and developing your systems, and don't listen to the opinions of other people. That's what I do. I don't listen to anybody on the internet. You see a fucking video from Michael Howell that comes out and he's describing how his liquidity measures are looking, and he does a bit of a review on what his systems look like. Cool, I'll watch that, no problem. Whoever's hosting it, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to know what they have to say. Fuck them off. And that's it. Like, what else could there possibly be to look at? I don't know. Maybe for you guys who are just young, maybe your brains still need a lot of information so that you understand how the world works. But I've spent more than enough time understanding how the world works. What is this? Wow. Where do you get this from? That's really cool. Please let me know where you... Is this that social media site? Anyway, please let me know where you got that from. If liquidity leads crypto for 5 weeks, why do we see a huge pump after CNY printing? It's because it's a complicated relationship. You can have a coincident impact. You can have a coincident impact if there is a change in the balance sheet, but there is a 5-week lead if it's global liquidity calculated using the capital wars method, which is the majority of that calculation is the shadow monetary base, but it's also cross-border capital flows and a bunch of other things in there. If I knew where to very quickly find the composition diagram of the global liquidity index they use, I would find it. You just have to understand that there are lots of different ways to measure liquidity. There are at least 3 main ones that you can use. You can have an aggregation of a balance sheet of the central bank balance sheets. You can have a global liquidity index like cross-border capital, where it contains everything else in the world. You can have the liquidity proxy that we use in TradingView, which is a very rough and not at all scientific well, it's a little bit scientific, but it's kind of just the Chinese bond yields and some bank balance sheets all crushed together, divided by the dollar. It's a different way of looking at it as well. So the pump could have been due to two things that I can think of immediately off the top of my head. It was either because the China balance sheet mooned over that short period of time, which it did, so that could have been the driver, or it could have been the increase in global liquidity that happened 5 weeks earlier being suddenly discounted into the price. So is there any way of separating those two drivers? I don't know. It could have been either one. I suppose taking a balanced approach between the two of them may be okay. I use both within my LTPI. Hey, Prof. So would it be valid to think that the reason the Google Trends was so high in 2017 was because there were no previous searches of BTC? So it would have then, maybe. I don't know how they formulate the index. Invest as much capital as Yep. I'm holding music festival in April for my business and may need to access some more cash. Would it be reasonable to take profits to fund this venture? What's going to have a greater return on investment? Your fucking music festival or your portfolio? I don't know. Man, I don't know anything about your fucking music festival. You need to do a calculation, a good fucking fair calculation of what your reasonable expectation is for profit. Money in versus money out, and over what time period. That will give you a rate of return, and make sure that you're not just being optimistic, that you have a low and a higher bound, and then you have an average, and that you kind of reasonably determine what the range of possible outcomes is and the probability of each of them occurring. And then you have a look at crypto, and then over that, whatever that same time horizon is, you make a judgment and say, okay, well, over that same approximate time horizon, where is Bitcoin or crypto likely to go, and what is the probability of it likely to go in any of these directions, and then compare the rate of returns. That's the only responsible way of looking at it. Me, after realizing I can just buy physical Bitcoin for $4 on Amazon. Yeah, it's just genius. Yo, oh, wow, okay. Jeez, this is, it's a bit chaotic and no, Jesus. I mean, it's nice. It's sexy, but it's confusing. This makes it look like I can go straight from the investing game through the tutorials to the signals, which is not how the campus is structured. You have to go through the investing lessons to the signals, like so. Yeah, but this is very sexy. This is very sexy. It's very nice. Maybe, yeah, it's very sexy. Thank you. A little bit less crazy and a little bit more accurate would be lovely, but yeah, I mean, thank you very much. Given the BTC peaks before mid caps and small caps, do you shift portfolio? I knew I would get this question today. You know how I knew? Because the same question gets asked every single day. That is an RSPS-based behavior, so no. First of my apologies, question in the AMA channel, didn't mean to waste your time. Yeah. You just said a whole bunch of things that meant nothing and then was like, hey man, what do you think? Like, no. Google Trend analyst was spot on. I think every previous cycle, people get burned. So that, yeah. Can you say a bit more on how you calculate the fair value? Well, it's a visual analysis just using my brain, right? So it is not really what you would call scientific, but if you can see that there was an inflection in liquidity and you see that in the chart and you see how much of that price was discounted using liquidity, and you know that liquidity has a 5-week lead, then you just try and match up 1-to-1. I mean, how far is 5 weeks away? 5 weeks, how many days? So it's like 37 days. So in 37 days, oh God, all my shit is fucked up now. So yeah, I mean, you would look at where you would make some judgments, right? You would look at the inflection point in the liquidity chart, and then you would look at where liquidity currently is and what the shape of that looks like. And you say, okay, well, the distance from there to where liquidity is looks like so. And you know that it leads BTC approximately by 5 weeks. So if the shape of the liquidation behavior, the liquidity behavior looks like so, but you haven't had that final leg up yet, then you can reasonably determine that it hasn't fully priced in all of that liquidity yet. I probably haven't explained that very well, but that's how it works in my mind. Yes, double yes, triple yes. Fuck yeah. Good shit, man. I love this. Very, very good. Actually, yeah. As far as the Lynx Black, again, if you go into Ask Professor Adam yesterday, I said that you should replace all of this bullshit with crystal deodorant, Deonat crystal deodorant. It allows, you shouldn't be fucking combining this cheap bullshit with this very, very nice, expensive bullshit. You don't want to smell like this. You want to smell like this, all right? And the crystal deodorant allows you to get to that phase. Should I continue to DCA my funds into the SDCA portfolio? Is it almost time to LSI into the pot? Bro, we've been LSI'd! And you as well. Can you fucking not read? Look. So you've fucked up and now you don't know what to do. I have some crypto, but I want to buy more. Of the crypto you want to buy, spread out the purchases evenly over the next 1 to 2 weeks. Actually, I should probably change this back to 1 week. Over 1 week. That is now my new official signal. And you should... Yes. I'm going to move on from this before I have a fucking heart attack.
मांगाएंगे मुक्ते पिया स्वाद नाय रखता ला विस्की कोला tequila स्वाद नाय रखता ला नशा में सिखाते.
Beautiful. I have some spare money. There's no such thing as spare money. Yeah. Same answer to this fucking idiot above you that I give to you, mate. Same answer, same exact answer. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, good. I'm glad you like it. Yep, good. Yes, fantastic. Thank you very much. Pass the masterclass. I invest in included. Could it do a 20x? It could do a bunch of anything, mate. I have no idea. It'll go up. That's what it'll do. Quick question on liquidity. Once it's reached maximum liquidity projections, is it possible to consolidate, then shoot back up again? Or in your experience of observing this sort of data, tops it and tends to slowly decrease? P.S. Once it's reached maximum liquidity projections, well, okay, first things first, how do we know on a coincident basis if it has reached maximum liquidity projections? Projections even is probably the wrong word to use. There are no projections except for the ones that are explicitly identified. Once it's reached maximum liquidity is the appropriate fucking sentence structure there, and even that is questionable. How do you know that it's reached maximum liquidity on a coincident basis? How do you know? Like, where the fuck does this assumption come from in real time? It's the same exact problem that you have when looking at the Google Trends data. You don't know in real time if it's reached the peak or not because the time series isn't normalized. Likewise, if you're in the moment and Cross-Border Capital comes out with another letter, you don't fucking know if it's peaked until the following week when it begins to decline. So what the fuck? The fuck type of assumption are you starting with? Is it possible to consolidate, then shoot back up? Mate, it could do anything. It could fucking move in a loop. Speculation. I'm not going to even answer that. Global liquidity has hit a new record high, so wouldn't that mean the fair value of Bitcoin is also at... No, it does not. I'm very disappointed. I mean, how the... Oh, fuck. What the fuck type of logic is that? Ah, shit, man. The fuck type of logic is that? Fuck yes. Little yes. Little yes. Little yes. Not 100% sure on that one or this one, although I think that they smell okay. So overall, quite good actually. Quite good. Huge fan of this one. Love that one. $1 million is gay. But is it gay because you know it's gay and the people that react to it know that it's gay, or is it gay because somebody told you it was gay in real life when you wore it? Because I know for a fact that if you'd never smelt 1 million before and then you smelt it, you'd be like, this is the best smelling cologne that anybody's ever worn. If you're in a vacuum, right? I think that people think that 1 million is gay because they were told that it was gay on the internet. So I'd love to know your response to that. Prof. Adam, love you. Yes, I might be overthinking this, but trying to make sound judgment for Taurus leverage versus another higher, better asset, specifically referencing to volatility decay. How do you decide at what time horizon holding leverage token become less optimal than other assets due to primarily volatility decay? That's a very good question. That's a very, very good question. That's a very good question. We have a good question. A question that challenges me. A question that makes sense and is framed within the context of what we learn in the course. I'll be honest with you, telling you an answer for this is quite difficult for me. To know the difference between what is good for a higher beta asset versus your leverage holdings. Really, the decision in my mind comes down to a question of whether or not you reasonably expect the altcoin to outperform your leverage holdings. So we know that under conditions of uncertainty, if you didn't have any other token, but you wanted some high risk exposure, you would always choose the leveraged exposure because it is a more optimal representation of that because it moves you along the capital asset line. So you could potentially, and this is quite difficult to do because for example, we use the Ethereum Up leverage token from Binance to represent this view. It doesn't track the underlying asset accurately, so this chart isn't really accurate to use. For example, if Ethereum went up to all-time highs, it probably would only go up to, say, here, right? And maybe it does a 10x. So, for example, if you reasonably expect Ethereum to do a 10x and you're comparing it to something else, let's say you're comparing it to fucking OXO or I don't know, or fucking Solana maybe. Solana's a good one to kind of compare things to, I think, because it's always seen as very high beta. So if you reasonably expect Solana to go back to its all-time highs, and this is a very bad analysis, but I'm just kind of saying to you, so, or maybe if Ethereum went to all-time highs and Solana equally kind of represented that same flow, it maybe only goes up 500%, right? So you would say, okay, well, Solana's further down the chain further down the market cap rankings than Ethereum is, right? And you know that Ethereum has all of its layer twos. Yes, it's got its problems, but maybe they'll consolidate the layer twos and they will release an upgrade of some sort that will make the Ethereum ecosystem, very cheap, very fast, very usable, kind of like Solana is, right? Let's say hypothetically that was your view over the next 12 months. Well, you know for a fact that spot Ethereum is not going to outperform spot Solana if it goes back up to all-time highs, because the distance between Ethereum here and Ethereum all-time highs is only like 77%. Or maybe it goes up slightly above that, kind of like Solana does, and it only does 150%. But you know that the Ethereum Up leveraged token position is likely to outperform both of them. You may get your 500 or 600%, And because it's a higher market cap token, you know the probability of it going up is a lot higher. You know that within reason, this is the most optimal representation of that exposure, and you don't need to take on as much fucking risk. And this risk only increases of the uncertainty of whether it's going to go up. The more you go down that market cap ladder, and you could be looking at any other chain, you could be looking at fucking Optimism or Arbitrum or SUI or there's a million different L1s coming out, but you know that Ethereum is going to go up because it has that Lindy effect, it has that trust, and its ecosystem is already very well built out and it has many different tools. So you know that it's going to go up, just by what proportion is unsure. So you would use the leverage exposure to go along that capital asset line and give you a better capital efficiency and better exposure in that portfolio. So it's very difficult because under very few circumstances would you reasonably choose not to hold the leverage token unless you're really going super far into the risk spectrum of like shitcoins and stuff, things that can do 20x or 30x or 40x maybe. Those are the tokens where you would choose not to hold this, because even though the shitcoins are less likely to go up, the speculative value in them is still so high that you would still be willing to take a bet on that 50x or whatever it is. So it's hard to know, but often what you do is you compare things to what you would reasonably expect the leverage token to do, which by itself is an extremely speculative kind of bet. But the threshold for adding things into your portfolio, it needs to be either above and beyond Ethereum in terms of it going up, or it needs to be above and beyond the potential leverage gains that you could make, or whatever reasonably you expect your Ethereum gains to be on your leverage token. No, it's not a concern. 1.4 billion is chicken feed. But I used to use Old Spice body spray. Good everyday cologne. It depends entirely what you want to use it for. It depends entirely on where you go. Where do you go every day? And choosing between alts in the same sector is important for the pick one. That's a hard question to answer because, yeah, it depends on how confident you are between the different ones. Man, it depends entirely on a number of different circumstances. Yeah, diversifying between two might be a good idea, but you're also increasing the complexity. You just need to ask yourself if the safety benefit is worth it in terms of the increasing complexity. What do the time frames mean for liquidation maps? I thought it was meant to be an instantaneous snapshot. Why does it matter? Does this have something to do with futures? I think that liquidation maps are aggregated over historical time frames of some sort. I'm actually not entirely sure how they're calculated. I just know that the further you go up in time frame, the more accurate they become effectively. Yeah, it's just something that I've noticed with my eyeballs. I haven't really done a deep read into how they work. Oh, welcome. Good to see you here. Yeah, can't say that it left an impression on me. It was nice. I remember it being nice, but I don't remember being like, I have to have it. G shit. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, good stuff, man. Expensive. If you were to have kids in the next 5 years, I certainly hope I have kids in the next 5 years. What country would you raise them in? And how would you raise your kids as a mega millionaire? I would, I don't know. I think Australia is good because Australia is safe. Australia is very safe. And the safety is the thing that I'm concerned most about. I passed the IMC exam yesterday. I just got an idea. How long does it generally take students to pass each of the 5 levels? Fuck if I know, man. How hard are you willing to work? I hate it when people ask me this question. How long does it generally take? Are you an average person or are you above average? I don't know. Shit. Oh, yes. Cable tray. Job sites, bro. I can still smell the concrete dust. Oh, man. Adam goes very hard today. Oh, Ace. Good to see you, mate. Dior Sauvage, it's okay. It's nice. I think it's good. You know, I can see why people like it. Yes, goodbye. Yep. Use ing. I don't know, man. What the fuck? Parents want me to go to university. I'm thinking between economics, finance, or business administration. Always finance. But why go to university? You can learn this shit for free, man. Like on the internet. It's all on the internet. What do you think you should focus on the next 6 months? I don't know. You haven't even told me how much money you have. Not financial advice. I don't know anything about you. The fuck should I know what you should do? You haven't given me enough information. Yes. Yeah. I ask you, do you just find cryptos and buy and hold, or do you trade as well? I do a little bit of everything, mate. I do a little bit of everything. I can do anything. If you think that there is, I mean, mainly I invest, yes, because that is how you get the majority of your gains. Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore that. You clearly don't fucking, you're not intending on taking my campus seriously, so I'm not gonna waste time on you. What was that part? It's called Michael Saylor's Economic Masterclass. It is 2 hours long. You need to listen to the whole thing. Zero physical gold. Yeah. No, bro, I don't understand it either. Hey, no hate or offense to the girls out there who are listening to me, but girls, man, they don't plan ahead. They should know the game. Like if they know that Valentine's Day is coming up, they should be blowing up my phone, getting me out to take them on a date, being sweet and everything. So I'm like, wow, this girl's really nice. I love spending money on girls, man. It's like, it's not a simp activity for me. I just enjoy it because I used to be very tight when I was young. Now I love taking girls out on dates. I love buying them flowers. I love buying them fucking gifts and taking them places. I love that shit. But if they were smart, they'd be blowing me up before Valentine's Day. And I'm like, okay, well, if you don't want to spend time with me on Valentine's Day, that's cool. It doesn't bother me because it's more dollars for the portfolio. Adam's genius. Thank you very much. No, don't watch Andrew Huberman. No, fuck him. Mate, don't waste your time on biohacking bullshit. Just look at some summaries or ask Celestial Eye to give you the summary. Feelings over systems. That's, yes, I mean, it might happen. Yesterday I asked for the drivetrain. Yeah. Yes! Yeah, my current favorite night out fragrance. Yeah. Never tried this one, but that's fucking cool. I've never seen that before. Dolce & Gabbana, the one Sport. That's very cool. I've heard of this. I've heard of this one too. Apparently, this one has an amazing reputation. Smelt that one. Smells amazing. Armani Code. Beautiful. I think that one's good as well. I fucking hate this one. Just on me personally. I know a lot of people like it. I want to smell this one. That's cool. I've never seen that before. What do you think about Sol long term? No, long term I don't like Sol. But because I think Ethereum will just outcompete it in every possible way, but whatever. Amazing. Yeah, bro. That's some good shit. Yeah, no comment. No comment. What day of the week? What day of the week does the white bar appear on Michael Howell's GLI chart? The white bar. The white bar? Gee, yeah, you found my car, bro. The fucking Burgermobile. That is what I drive. No cap. What software are you using? What software are you using the bottom of your desktop for drawing? Epic Pen. What is the ratio of liquidation correlating to? What is the ratio? In what ratio is liquidation correlating to the crypto market? Fucking 1.00 correlation. No, I have no surname. My surname is Adam. My first name is Professor. Nice try, FBI. Have you ever thought about opening the live stream to people only who have passed the investing masterclass to weed out the dumb funds? Yes. Answered just before. Yes. What's up, fellas? Trying to find intro stats? Yeah. Quenta. No, it does not work the same. It does not work the same at all. Completely different. One is linear margin futures. The other one is a constantly rebalancing mechanism. Welcome, FAI 2691. Paytrick. I moved all my money. I want to buy ETH at the beginning of February and had my limit at these levels, which when I moved Euro to the exchange, it was already higher than that. So I didn't buy. Didn't have since then chance to buy. What you do in situation like this when you knew its last bell and you got late 1-2 days and is now 27.70 and I can't buy at this price. The fuck do you mean you can't buy at this price? The fuck does that mean? How the fuck does this make any sense? I have a huge pain inside me as I was expecting this move, but now I can't buy. It's against myself now. What do you do in this kind of situation when you buy late when there can't be a correction? You put your hands under your ass and wait for a correction? Your problems do not come from the fucking price, my friend. Your problems come from the fact that you've been in here over a month now. And despite being in here over a month, now is the first time you've decided to come in here and complain about your fucking mistakes, of which clearly could have been avoided if only you'd done the lessons. If you had gone through the fucking lessons like I told you to, you would have already unlocked the signals and you would have known that you should have just been buying that entire time. Where in your mind you came up with the idea to limit buy was a fucking fantasy that was based on nothing. There was no rationale behind it. There was no logic. There was no system. You just imagined something into existence and you thought that it would play out because somehow you believed the market owed it to you to do what you imagined to do. The market doesn't give a fuck about you. It doesn't give a fuck about me either. The only thing that matters is your systems and the way that you approach the market with rationality and good sense and rules to make choices like this. The only choice that you have now is the same choice that everybody else has to them, which is the market is going up. And if you were to follow the fucking SDCA signals, which aren't that difficult to unlock if you just spend a little bit of time looking at it, if you've fucked up and you don't have any crypto yet, you spread it out purchases over the next 1 week. I'm going to delete the 2 weeks here. Easy. And you can either choose to listen to me or you can choose to ignore me. When you choose to ignore me, this is what happens. You wait and you wait and you wait and you wait and it just keeps going up and you will never ever get a fucking chance. Where the fuck your correction you think is coming from? is a dream, my friend. Is a fucking dream. It's only going in one direction, and that's up. Yes. All right, fuck this. I'm going to finish the stream here. Had enough. I'm sweating. Bro, the air conditioner is on and I'm sweating. I'm so fucking angry right now. I love you guys. I love everybody in this campus. You're all welcome. And I hope you're all making tons of money, except for, what's his name? What the fuck is your name? Paytrick. I hope everybody's making money except for Paytrick. Listen, no, for real. Get your fucking lessons done and don't waste time. I'm swear to God, we're going to see 10 times the frequency of this bullshit happening. I'm not going to make it to the end of this bull market. I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm going to have serious health problems from doing this job before this fucking bull market is finished. I love you guys. Please, for the love of God, do the lessons. And if you enjoy your time with me, send that love forwards and help your fellow students. Help them find their way around. Help them, please, please. Develop this community. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow for another episode of Investing Analysis. Peace.
These is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. Hit the school, I can get them both. I don't wanna choose, and I'm quick cutting off, so don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now, I make money move. Say I don't gotta dance, I make money move. If I see you now speak, that means I don't f with you. I'm a boss, you a worker. I make bloody moves. Now she say she gon' do what or who? Let's find out and see. Cardi B, you know where I'm at, you know where I be. You in the club just to party, I'm there, I get paid a fee. I be in and out them banks so much, I know they tired of me. Honestly, don't give a f about who in front of me. Drop 2 mixtapes in 6 months, we're breaking as hard as me. I don't bother with these, don't let these bother me. They see pictures, they say goals, I'm who they tryna be. Look, I might just chill in some babe, I might just chill with your boo, I might just spill on your babe. My feel like a lake, he wanna swim with his face. I'm like, okay, I let him get what he want. He buy me East Saint Laurent and the new whip. When I go fast as a horse, I got the trunk in the front. I'm the hottest in the street, know you probably heard of me. Got a bag and fix my teeth, hope you know it ain't cheap. And I pay my mama bills, I ain't got no time to chill. Think these be mad at me, they baby father wanna build. Say, Lil, you can f with me if you wanted to. These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. Hit the school, I can get them both, I don't wanna choose. And I'm quick cutting off, so don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now, I make money move. Say I don't gotta dance, I make money move. If I see you now speak, that means I don't with you. I'm a boss, you a worker. I make bloody moves. If you you get popped. You a goofy, you a op. Don't you come around my way. You can't hang around my block. And I just check my account. Turns out I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. I put my hand above my hip. I bet you dip, he dip, she dip. I say I get the money and go. Dip is hot like a stove. My glitter is gold. Tell that little say her roll. I just a rope and no rolls. I just came up in a rave. I need to fill up the tank. No, I need to fill up the safe. I need to let all these know they none of to save. I go to dinner and steak. Only the real can relate. I used to live in the peace. Now it's a crib with a gay. Rolly got charms, the life frosted flakes. Hard to let these know. Just in case he's forgot. I just wanna check the mail. Another check from Mars. That's it, Lou. You can f with me if you wanted to. These expensive. These is red bottoms. These is bloody shoes. Hit the school. I can get them both. I don't wanna choose. And I'm quick cutting off, so don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now. I make money moves. Say I don't gotta dance. I make money move. If I see you now speak, that means I don't fuck with you. I'm a boss, you a worker. I make bloody moves.